Saludos a toda la afición de la lucha libre. Este que les habla es Michael Morales Torres, integrante del equipo de lucha libre online, y tengo el enorme privilegio de presentarles a nuestra invitada en la tarde de hoy, directamente desde Richmond, Virginia, para el mundo. Ella es 6 veces campeona mundial femenina de la WWE, 3 veces campeona de las Knockouts de Impact Wrestling, futura integrante del Salón de la Fama de la WWE y definitivamente una de las mejores luchadoras de todos los tiempos, artista de country music, ahora también productora del programa God TV, Mickie James. Miss James, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you? Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Oh, nice. You speak Spanish. Everything's great here in Puerto Rico. But it's good. It's not so often we see a wrestler, specifically an American one, speaking Spanish. So that's definitely a plus. At least it's a poquito.
Gracias.
Gracias a usted. So we want to start this interview with the most important thing, and it's God TV. It's grown-ass women. It's a product completely different that you, Lisa Marie Varon, formerly known as Victoria or Tara, and Valerie Winham, also known as So-Called Val, launch on YouTube. It's on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram as God TV. You also have your Patreon, which is patreon.com/GodTV. We've seen some interesting interviews with Melina, for example, and there are a lot of different content over there. What can you tell us about your new product, which is God TV?
I thought it would just be fun. It would be fun to be, if we were traveling on the road and then we got to the hotel and got some drinks and it would just be what we would be doing in our rooms, just chit-chatting, having a pajama party, laughing about nonsense most of the time. So it's nice to be able to do it with two women who I really value their opinion, and I think that they're very smart and beautiful and talented, and to be able to give our opinions about wrestling, about real life, and just to talk about normal stuff, because I think that our whole lives have been so centered around wrestling, that it's all we do and it's all that people see or think or can imagine from us, that it's nice to be able to give them a little bit of our real life or a little bit of our opinions outside of wrestling, you know, whether they want to hear them or not, they're going to get them.
So God TV is basically what you do in your real life outside of the pro wrestling industry, and it's chat with your friends, with your partners about multiple different things, among them wrestling. As I mentioned, you interview Melina. There have also been multiple guests on your program. Will we be expecting any specific wrestler from the current WWE roster to be on God TV soon?
Anyone's welcome. Anyone is welcome. We do not, you know, we have some really great guests lined up. We're getting ready to have Kato Kalin on the show. And then, yeah, we have some really cool people. And so, honestly, as far as for a lot of the people that we've brought on so far, like Jess and stuff, it's really like our friends, and we want to help lift them up in all the stuff that they're doing, you know, in their real lives and like outside of, in the ring, outside of the ring, all of it. Because it's really about empowering everyone, right? And we will talk about all the stuff that they love or passionate about doing, whether it be in the ring or out of the ring. And a lot of times that, you know, we don't get platforms to talk about a lot of the stuff that we do outside of the wrestling ring. So it's nice to be able to give people that platform to do it.
And speaking outside of the wrestling ring, you are a country music artist, which is an incredible deal, because you're not just amazingly talented in the ring, you're not just the producer yourself of your own program along with your partners, but you're also a talented music artist. You have 2 productions to this, as far as I know, and multiple singles. All of them are available on YouTube, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Amazon, Spotify, Pandora, and specifically on your YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/MickieJTV. Who was the person who inspired you to become a country music artist, and why you took this decision back in 2010?
I think I always wanted to sing. It was one of those things that I didn't think that I was good at or I was capable of, or it was meant for someone like me, because I was in from a small town in Montpelier, Virginia. Like, I didn't sing in the choir. Like, I sung in the choir on church on Sundays every now and then. I sung in chorus in school, but it wasn't anything that I was professionally trained for or thought I had any talent in. I just knew that I creatively really like to write, and I like to write songs, and I like to write stories, And I felt like music, I just feel like music is very powerful, you know, and it makes people, if you have a great song that can take someone back to a certain place, time, and like you remember that song for various reasons. And it's just always meant a lot to me. It's helped me a lot. Music for me has been very instrumental. It helps me out through a lot of my stuff, just because there's a lot of messages in songs, you know, because it comes from people writing them from real experiences in their lives, you know. So I don't know, but it wasn't until I was on the road full time that I was like, you know what, this is something that I always wanted to do, but I didn't think was possible for me, because I was told that it wasn't possible for me. But I'm going to do it now, because they said that I couldn't be a wrestler, and I'm a wrestler. They said I couldn't be a champion, and I'm a champion. So I think I'm going to go, you know, at least lay down these songs that I wrote, whether they're good or not, it doesn't matter. At least I can finally do it and not have that what if in my head. And since then, I've put out 2 full albums, about, you know, 10 or so singles, enough to do a 3rd album. And then I'm working right now on an album of all original stuff, of all the stuff that I've written. So.
And not only you tried it, you're damn good at it. Actually, I saw one of the videos that feature actually Mr. Nick Aldis, and WA World's Champion, and your husband, father of Donovan, back there. But Donovan
his train videos. He's like locked in.
Yeah, I am watching train videos.
Which is really cool. And my question for you is, many people told you weren't capable of doing so many things in your life, but you proved them wrong. You made your debut in 1999. You've been active in the ring for over 2 decades. You're back in WWE. We actually had the opportunity to saw you return yesterday against Natalia Neidhart. But what it's like to be back to doing what you love, which is pro wrestling?
It's amazing. I was excited to come back. I've been working really hard to come back. I love wrestling. I love wrestling so much. I'm so passionate about it. I love the feeling of going out there and telling stories. I love making people feel something. I love making people care. I've always been a fan of wrestling, and I will always be a fan of wrestling. I love great wrestling. But yeah, I'm excited to be back. I'm excited to see what opportunities are in store. I'm excited to be able to have new matches against people that I've not had a chance to have a real feud or a real match with. Because everything that I've done thus far has been all in tandem. I've been aligned with someone, or the story was always, you know, a counter, a co-part, if you will. So I'm interested to see what this journey has in store for me, you know.
Which is really interesting, because there are so many possibilities. You have Bayley, you have Sasha Banks, Asuka, Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Dana Brooke, Billie Kay, Peyton Royce, and the possibilities are uncountable. There are a lot of them. But I wanted to speak to you specifically about how you made your return to the company, and it was in 2016. You returned making your debut in NXT against Asuka in an amazing match. But at that point, specifically, NXT wasn't what it is today. It didn't have the platform. It didn't have USA Network. Currently, it is on everyone's eyes. Would you be interested in making a return to NXT? And if so, would you have a specific name you want to face?
I'm always open to things. I would never say no to going to NXT. There's definitely a lot of interesting people I think that I would like to align with or work with. Rhea Ripley. I think Mercedes Martinez, I'm so grateful that she's finally getting, you know, the recognition that she deserves, because I've known Mercedes for a very, very long time, and I've always thought that she was so talented. And she's always been one of the most respected women on the indie scene. So that's really cool. I really like Shotzi. Why am I a big fan of Shotzi? I'm a big fan of hers. Yeah, I don't know. I always say it's about the stories. I don't really like look at it and go like, ooh, I could have a really great match with that person, because to me, matches don't have money. Emotion drives money, you know? So that's just, so I'm really into doing that, the character, the developments, the stories, all that stuff. That's what really excites me. And then the matches are just bonus. To go out there and have a killer match on top of it is just like the icing on the cake.
Definitely, stories are what put the money in the table. And speaking of stories, there is an amazing roster on Raw currently, and SmackDown and NXT and NXT UK. Basically, everywhere you go, there are so many talented women. And compared to late 90s and early 2000s, women are getting more opportunities, are getting more main events, are getting pay-per-view main event matches, are headlining WrestleMania, are doing everything they can. And it was about damn time. Sorry for the expression, but it's true. What's the opinion Mickie James has on this new blood which arrived in WWE and are currently running the company along with yourself?
I think it's what a hell of a time to be a female in the business and such. Like, I'm really excited for the women in the next generation, because then it's, you know, this is all like moving walls right now. You know what I mean? So it's really, really cool, because it's going to be set a whole new standard for women. What's really cool is that, you know, when I first started wrestling, and even when I first was coming up, like, I thought, okay, there's competition out here, but it's definitely a lot more vast than it's ever been. There's more talented females out there wrestling, and not just being eye candy, not being managers, not being the girlfriends, not being whatever, to actually be in there and be legit amazing competitors than there's ever been. So not only are the opportunities more than they ever been, but the competition is thicker than it's ever been as well. So it's a really interesting dynamic. So as we're getting all these opportunities, and a lot of women are getting recognized, but the women are really it's almost like you're having to bust your butt even twice as hard to prove yourself, so you can get that spot, because there's a lot of women right behind you in line that'll take it, you know? So it's making everyone, I think, still even up their game and stay at like their top level all the time.
Also,
I love competition. I think it brings out the best in people.
And you have a lot of it in WWE currently, which is making the women's division more interesting than ever. I wanted to say something in Spanish. Para todos nuestros aficionados y todos nuestros seguidores, Mickie James tiene su mercancía ahora mismo disponible en prowrestlingtees.com/Mickie James. También pueden conseguir su producto en shop.wwe.com. Disponible también las 3 camisas que pude observar de Mickie James, excelentes de igual manera. Pueden visitar también su website, mickiejames.com, en donde pueden conseguir mercancía, específicamente fotografías autografiadas. Pueden contactarla para diferentes motivos. Y no olviden seguir lo más importante, GoTV, disponible en YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, como GoTV, Grown as Women. Un producto increíble al que definitivamente tienen que darle la oportunidad para poder ver a Mickie James en su momento dado, quien fue Victoria, y SoCal Val haciendo algo completamente atípico que definitivamente merece la oportunidad y el tiempo de todos. Por último, Mickie J TV en YouTube, para poder adquirir su música. De igual manera está en Amazon, Pandora, Spotify, iHeartRadio, entre muchísimas otras alternativas. Mickie, it's been such an honor to have you as our guest.
Thank you.
Thank you. Last but not least, I wanted to ask, Raw Women's Champion, SmackDown Women's Champion, NXT Women's Champion, NXT UK Women's Champion, and definitely the Tag Team Women's Champion. There are 5 titles in the roster currently, which is an incredible opportunity for women. Are you interested in any particular one? And if so, which one?
All of them.
That's an incredible answer. Everything is a possibility.
The world is full of possibilities.
Perfect. Mrs. James, thank you so much for the opportunity. We definitely wish you the best of luck with GoTV, with your music, with Raw, with everything, and the best of luck to everything. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.